Welcome to another episode of the Prep Coach podcast. We are back at home base. Feels a little bit different. Well, you still look like you're dressed for Bali with your shorts
Man,
and a
I'm just
t-shirt.
it's
I'm
got the
gonna,
winter, almost the winter. No,
oh,
it's a light jacket, so it's
Yeah,
not
it's
the
a
winter.
spray jacket. But to be fair, it was cold.
cold,
Early, so
yeah.
it was like 11 degrees at 5:30
Yeah,
this
it's
morning.
definitely different to Bali weather. But
I've got no giraffe on my head.
yeah. Did you get any messages from that potty?
Yeah, lots.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, no one was surprised.
Yeah, of you having the giraffe on your head.
Not at all.
And the jelly beans. Did anyone message you
No
about
one messaged me about the jelly beans.
Yeah.
I've moved on from those, and you just brought me back
Yeah.
to that. What did I get?
What did-
I got booger flavour.
Yeah, you got snot
It
and
was
you got
horrendous.
burnt rubber, didn't you?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. And I think Timsy got vomit.
Yeah, Tim,
Yeah,
you
I
had like
got like
seven
four ones in a row.
Yeah. It's good to be back though. We're back. We've still got some questions from the previous potty, which I'll go through in a second. One of them's to do with actually your prezzo. So we'll go through that. But any updates? Any updates on life? Because
Yeah.
obviously we didn't record last week, but we issued the potty last week.
Yeah.
So we've actually taken a week off recording technically. So how's everything going?
Man, honestly, everything's as good as it's ever been for me, to be honest, man. Baby's around the corner. Maeve's healthy. Talia's healthy. She's just so much fun. My body's in a great place. I'm not worried about jinxing it because remember in Bali, I said, I'm going to be fine on this trip. Nothing's going to happen to me from an injury perspective. And it was like, touch wood. I was like, don't fucking touch wood. Every time we do it, every time somebody touches wood, something happens.
Yeah.
No one touch wood.
Yeah, it was good.
So I've reversed the jinx.
Yeah, you
Someone's looking
survived.
over me.
You survived Bali.
Man,
Fine. I think you were sick maybe one day or
I
something.
got Bali, but
Yeah.
at Waterbomb Park.
Yeah.
And I said to Scotty, I was like, Scotty, I'm making an exit, bro. If anybody asks where I am,
Yeah.
he had to go back to the hotel, but I fucking zoomed out of there. It's not the place you want to have Bali's at a water park.
Yeah. Especially because we were floating right next to you.
No, no.
Correct. I mean, I was looking out for you guys.
Oh, what's that down the slide?
But yeah, no, that was obviously an amazing time away. But since coming back, man, everything's just in a really, really good place. Even though, no, man, I feel like mentally as clear as I've ever felt. Might be the 20 grams of creatine.
You might be.
Hey, you know what? That was the first day in Bali that I had to break that 20 grams of creatine because when I was sick.
Sick, yeah.
But straight back on it.
It's made a difference, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
Even just training wise, since coming back, it just feels like it's skyrocketing for me at the moment, man. And the fire is back to just get in the gym as many days as I can. Like I'm now going back to that place I feel like when I was in my early 20s where I've got to stop myself from going and training too much.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, and it's been a while for me, man. So
Is that
it's nice to feel that again.
Is that post Bali? Like that's revigorated?
I feel like Bali really lit the fire again. I feel like it was amping up going to Bali, and Bali just 10x'd it. And since coming back, it's just getting better and better, man.
Well, we did train in an awesome gym there. It was really
I
good.
loved it. You know what's crazy? This is an accident, by the way, and I will
What did you do?
return this.
Oh, the towel.
I will return. It ended up in my bag. This is from the gym there. They give them to you when you get there, and you return them.
Yeah.
And I just somehow took it home. So compound in Bali, you will get this back. You have my word; it'll come back clean as a whistle. But until October, I might as well
Keep it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like free advertising for me.
Yeah. Obviously, you were the one who had the relationship to set up the gym there. What did you think about it all?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we trained it last time, I think, for a
Yeah,
session.
once or twice. Yeah.
And it was good. It's big space. It's clean. The times that we were going, it was relatively quiet. Plus, they had the recovery center. We did a recovery session there, which was good, and I think everyone enjoyed. So, yeah, I think compared to where we were, it was definitely a step up. For sure.
Considering we walked in with 25, 26 people
Yeah.
at once. Like
Yeah.
I know it was a small staggered half an hour split between the two groups, but there was literally around about 25, 26 people training in there all at once. And
we
the gym,
basically had the gym.
the gym took it really, really well. I mean, like the amount of equipment, there wasn't like you weren't waiting for things.
Yeah, it's a big space.
I think it worked out really, really well there.
And I think the less traffic, like Flash Gym, was good when we were there, but it's obviously gotten busier. And then, yeah, I think just this space, having the 2 stories as well, and having kit upstairs and downstairs, like
Yeah.
all the lower stuff was upstairs, the upper was downstairs. I think that worked really well. You were able to just space out. And then even when there were other people there, it didn't feel overly crowded.
No, it didn't at all.
We obviously had a large presence in terms of
Yeah.
the people we had there, but it was good.
And all of our whole group is always respectful of other
Yeah, of
members and
course.
things like that. So I don't think they felt anyone felt intimidated in any way or didn't feel like we were trying to take over in any way. I think everyone was really, really respectful. But then obviously you did the recovery session there on the Thursday of the retreat, and that went really, really well. That was received well too.
Yeah, we did. We were a little bit pressed for time because we did a little bit of light cardio. Then we did a bit of active stuff and some stretching and mobility. And then we went and did some sauna and some cold plunge, which was good. It was interesting to see who was willing to actually do the cold plunge and obviously who found it a little bit more challenging. The first time you do it is very abrasive. That first initial wow, that's cold.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was good. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. Something that's different, and also just the effects that you, especially with cold water immersion, that you get post that period. So I think that was good. It was something that was different. I love doing that sort of stuff. I would do it daily if I didn't want to blunt making gains. But no, it was good, man.
Did anyone immerse themselves past their shoulders? Like they go up to their neck?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, you did in the end, and then at the end there was I think Timsy was all the way in, and he was like, everyone else jump back under just to.
Yeah, I did the whole first round at my neck.
To your neck, yeah.
Yeah.
Did maybe the last minute, I think, purely because I'd trained back the day before, and I was like, I didn't really want to. I'm like, up to the hips is good, but.
Man, I suffered in the sauna more. The sauna was way harder for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I find the extreme heat in the breathing in quite, say, like claustrophobic in the feeling, but almost a little bit tightening. Whereas for me, the ability to just sit in the cold,
I guess because you're not breathing in cold air, so it's not stressful. It's only the water that's cold. The air is you just breathing in the environment.
I could talk in the cold plunge. In the sauna, I said to Scott, I was just got to like 3 in, hold 3 out, just really focus on the breathing to let the time pass, because I found that harder.
You remember the one we did in China? We had the hotel in China, and we went into it was more of a steam room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was crazy because you're actually immersed in steam and you can't see anything around you. And that is a little bit more claustrophobic. You're in there, there's space, but because you're just enclosed by all this steam.
And you feel like you're taking the steam in every breath.
Yeah, I don't love, just even the smell of the earth, for me, is different. I prefer a sauna.
Yeah. That was good though. They had a cold plunge, steam room, and the sauna itself as well.
Yeah, that was probably the first time I've done it in a bit of a sequence.
Yeah.
And then the one that we did was even more structured than that, which I think we're going to make pretty standardizing the routine now.
Yeah. I think a big part of it is also doing something hard first thing in the morning and learning to be able to tolerate discomfort and to be able to stay more composed when you're in that. And that's why a lot of people prefer to do, or they like to do cold plunge and cold immersion on a daily, because it's like you've done something hard, your body becomes a lot more tolerable of that discomfort, and so you're able to tolerate stress later on in the day and then ongoing, because your body's just, you can't freak out and scream and yell. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
So but no, it's good. It's good fun.
Awesome. Good to be back though.
Yeah, man.
Good to be back.
Yeah, you were obviously a little bit sick too. We were worried about you on the plane. You were like, man, on shivering.
And right in you were sick the whole time, but that last hour, multiple times, I sort of tried to get Scotty's attention. You're in the middle of us, and you had your arms inside your
t-shirt.
Yeah,
I was like inside,
and you were asleep, but you were just shaking uncontrollably.
I was. Yeah.
I was like rubbing you at one point.
I know.
You were asleep, and I was worried because, man, you're. I won't say you're as bulletproof as I've seen, but you don't give much away. Like, you wouldn't know when you're sick. Like you.
Yeah.
You always conduct yourself the same no matter what. I've known you for a long time, and I could just see that.
Yeah,
that you were suffering pretty bad, man.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, when I get sick, I just go real quiet.
Yeah.
And I just I don't need any attention. I just want to kind of be left.
Yeah, I'm trying.
But I got sick on the Thursday, and it was.
Not the sick that everyone's probably thinking.
Yeah, it's not the sick that, I wasn't vomiting or diarrhea or anything like that, but just, fever, hot and cold, especially at night, like night sweats, and then just like no energy, just fuzziness and like a dull headache all day, pretty constant. And it's almost like that persisted throughout the rest of the retreat, even though I was able to eat a little bit. Obviously, the last night we went out, we had a really, really nice meal, so I was able to take part in that. But everything else in the round, I just didn't want to eat. I just didn't have any appetite. But it was almost like this switch flicked. As soon as the retreat was over and we're in the car to go to the airport, my body's like, cool, now you can get sick. Your work is done. You've done your obligation. Now you can get sick. And that's when I just went downhill. And you probably noticed, like...
At the airport.
Yeah, I literally was like moving and not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I need to go there. I need
You're
to pull a
existing.
passport there. I need to go there. I need to sit there, wait, and then I need to get in the plane and I need to wait till I get home and I got to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was thinking. But yeah, in the plane I was shivering, and so in the end, what ended up happening is I was getting better at home. I got worse, and then I got better, but I wasn't getting better fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, something still underlying is there, and something's not right. So by the Tuesday afternoon, we got back Saturday midnight. By the Tuesday afternoon, I was like, no, I need to go to the doctor. My stomach is in physical pain. Like if I was to push on it, it was painful. So I went to the doctor and told him my symptoms, and he pressed in certain areas of my abdomen. He's like, and it was really painful. He's like, yeah, you just got an infection, bacterial, and you need antibiotics. It's based on whatever you happened in Bali. And it was literally just 3 tablets, 1 a day. So it's like, it's funny getting tablets from a chemist and it's got 3 in there and that's all you take.
It's pretty rare these
Yeah, it's
days.
pretty rare. And I was good. Had the 3 over the 3 days and
Job done.
I was good. Then I got really hungry.
Because your body's just seeking what you had.
Yeah, because I hadn't eaten properly for a long time and I'd lost a bit of weight. It was just when my parents saw me, they were like, oh my God, you've lost so much weight. Like, you can imagine what parents, like, they were
Did anyone like know what they lost for the week? Because I actually took mine when we left and took it as soon as we got home.
No, I didn't, because I've been renovating.
Yeah.
I had my scales away, so.
Yeah. I dropped 2 kilos, which I've done worse. Like I've dropped more there.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see like.
Mine was about just under 2.
Yeah.
And I didn't get sick at all, but just
Yeah.
moving more than we usually would and
Yeah.
basically missing 2 additional meals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how much I lost, but it would have been a little bit for sure.
Yeah, that's with me. I was so much more organised this time around. I bought a lot of food to eat in my room. I bought heaps of cream of rice and I made it. Every morning before I walk, I'd already eaten a big meal. So
Yeah.
still lose a couple of kilos.
Otherwise, we're back to normal now. We're back to regular program. All right, you want to dig into it?
Let's go.
Let's go to this first one. This is leftover from the retreat, if you're okay to go through that. In MG seminar, there was a lot of discussion about comparison in prep. But how do you get around comparison in the off season? They have added more tissue than me. They have better genetics than me. They're growing more faster than me.
Well, one of the things that I did speak about in that presentation was that from this retreat, because I also in the first lecture I gave on the previous one, I spoke a little bit about comparison as well, and also around your environment. But I think one of the pieces I did in this lecture, which I think is important for everybody, is around how to filter feedback and filter noise.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the 3 sort of boxes or metrics that it needs to tick off in order for you to actually give it any time and attention, even if it's coming from yourself, right, to yourself, is it coming from somebody qualified? Is it actually something actionable that you can do?
Anything about it? Yeah. Yeah.
And is it in line with your long-term goal? And if it doesn't tick all 3 of those, you move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's relevant to yourself, whether it's coming from somebody else. It's like, if you're giving advice to someone, you're not qualified to give that advice. You're actually giving them a piece of information they can't even do anything with.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't actually align with what their goal is. Like,
if someone said to you, oh, you're competing against that person, they got better genetics. What are you going to do about it?
Great, right?
What are you going to do about it?
100%. And I think, if you've got a little bit of a system, and that's a really simple system, it's like, all right, I hear something, it triggers me a bit. I run through those 3 tick boxes. If it doesn't tick all of them, I move on. If it's from somebody who actually is qualified to give it and there's something you can do about it, it's worth investing some time and energy too. Maybe you'll consult your coach and see what they think before. But if it's not ticking those, it's just fucking noise. Like, yeah. And again, the big thing around this is your comparison. This is an instance of somebody individually. Is I'm guessing based on social media comparisons.
Of course it is.
All right. It's probably not an in-person comparison with someone that you're regularly training with. So, you guys both spoke about this too. You're looking at the best lighting, the best photos, and the best scenario, probably after the best pump. They're not posting, their shittest version. You're seeing your shittest version 24 hours a day.
Potentially has filters, maybe some AI enhancement.
Now, there you go, nowadays as well. So,
yeah.
Again, it's just too hard to know, one, is it even genuine? But in reality, there's so many things that you don't know about that exact photo. But, that first one's a big one for me. Is it coming from somebody qualified? Are you qualified to give that, that comparison of yourself? Mm-hmm. You're not. No, you're too emotionally attached.
Yeah.
And are you actually giving yourself something to change? You're not. You're just saying that they're better.
You're just making yourself feel worse. Yeah.
So tick those boxes. If it doesn't tick those boxes, move on.
Yeah. Change of pace. What's the most basic vitamins one should take daily, morning and night.
You pick one each.
Vitamin D. Scotty?
I would have said vitamin. I would have said vitamin D3 because you can get D2 or D3, but that's a. I feel like you stole the really good one.
Yeah.
What about just like not just vitamin, but like you can go like supplement, so you can include like
if you were to say supplement, because vitamin D you get from the sun, but most people I think, especially during winter, should supplement with some vitamin D3 just because of the benefits that it has. I think magnesium has some benefit. Obviously, it's a mineral that we lose, but also a lot of benefits around recovery and sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. Threonate and glycinate are probably the two. Citrate if you really need a BM and you're trying to just induce a bit of peristalsis.
not before Waterbomb Park.
Yeah, not for belly. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe magnesium or fish oil. I guess you go either or. Sorry,
Yeah, I mean, I would have said, but I just would have said omegas. I think most bodybuilders don't have the calories to liberate towards oily fish, like eating enough salmon or.
Unless you're Earl and you eat sardines.
Unless you're Earl. I mean, you and Earl had a great conversation about sardine quality and how good it is, but you would rather eat your own boot or sardines. but yeah, the point is like omegas typically mean higher calories, and I think as bodybuilders we tend to avoid that for the most part. I'm not saying that you should. So I think most people probably underdose in, a pharmaceutical grade omega. Because like how supplements are drawn and created is very different, right? If you look at like a Metagenics versus, no disrespect, like a Swiss. I'm sure the process is quite different. So
also the concentration, you want the right balance of EPA and DHA, that balance of getting the right ratios there. You typically want a 3-to-2 sort of ratio with that. And some of them, again, it might be advertised as having this, then you look at the back, you've got to take like 4 of these to actually get that, which is what they do with a lot of with a lot of everything now. It's the quality and the concentration of whatever the supplement is, and I'm generalizing, but potentially it's diluted, and so once upon a time you would have 1 scoop of pre-workout or 1 scoop of this, whereas now maybe you need 1.5 or 2 just to get the standard dose. So obviously it's smart on their behalf because you use more of it. You've got to re-up more often. But yeah.
Is that our formal not up for negotiation list?
Yeah.
With an asterisk next to creatine because
they're got to be your top 3.
That's not part of this. You can't use creatine as an answer.
If you're talking supplements, obviously creatine, you're looking at the most research ones, creatine and caffeine are probably going to be your big 2.
I was going to bring this up only because you mentioned in Bali pre and probiotics, because you mentioned that you have them and your family has them.
Scotty bought me a $90 packet of.
Is that also a staple that everyone should think about?
Yeah, I think prebiotics as well. I mean, when you go into countries like a third world country, having really, just in general, I think you want to have really sound gut microbiome, but there's also some benefits. So, if we're talking about, we're about to transition into cooler months and winter. So if someone was like, I get a question asked all the time, what's your best hack for, trying to enhance immunity, during winter? And although you can't enhance it, you can prevent deficiency. But obviously vitamin D3, because there's a lot of research on that, we don't get enough sun. If you can get direct sun, amazing. Otherwise, 5,000, 4,000, 5,000 IU of that a day, and also having it with a meal contains fat because it's a fat-soluble vitamin. But probiotics are also, there's a lot of really good research specifically with athletes that provided that the probiotic contains at least 10 billion CFUs, so colony forming units, that having that on a day-to-day basis, I think it's like something like 60% or 56%, something along those lines, less likely to suffer from getting sick or illness. Those athletes are less likely to have gastrointestinal issues. So they're 2 really, really big ones. Plus, if you are potentially, ingesting a bug, maybe you have the good bacteria to be able to fight that off. And so I think that's one of those things where, although it's an expensive one, so I understand not everyone can afford to allot funds towards it, because I think probiotics here, I don't really, Jen buys them, but the Life Plus ones, I think we spend probably $200 a month, which is a lot of money.
For the family, or?
Yeah, the kids have a special one as well that they have. But one of the best ways that you can try and bolster your immunological function, again, you can't enhance it, but to try and make you as robust as possible, is to eat a diverse range of, fruit, veg. I've spoken about the rule of 5 different colors, because at the end of the day, supplementation is really just you're adding to what you should already be getting, ideally from a food first approach. The old saying, food first, but not, food only.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we go a little bit like on the same topic, but I think people get a lot of use out of it. Even like the way, say, certain things are uptaken when ingested. So, for example, the reason why I've spent a lot of time investigating this space recently is as somebody with AF and hemochromatosis, electrolyte balance, and what vitamins, minerals may affect the uptake of something else. So you look at most people are probably the other side. I'm sure we've got heaps of listeners who are low in iron. And one of the things for me, if you look at Meave and I, when we'll have a meal that may have the same thing, Maeve's like minimal to zero calcium. And I'm like, I want as much calcium in it as possible because it blunts the uptake of iron.
Okay.
So versus if you were trying to get more iron, you would potentially look at like, if it's a fortified iron, like vitamin C, because that's typically a key to unlocking that in terms of absorption.
So even like on that level of how certain things react with something else can also affect the way at which your body uptakes it. Because we have a lot of listeners who will be iron deficient, supplementation and how long it might take to actually get levels up to normal versus like why sometimes an infusion is the way to go. What is it with the uptake of like supplementation of iron that just seems to me that it always takes way too long to get to that level when, that infusion, I'm not saying it's the go-to for everyone, but certainly I'm just using Meave as my example and seeing the difference that it makes for her if she tries supplementation, which she doesn't anymore. She goes straight for the infusion. And even seeing, some of our members at the gym who Meave treats, the difference just seems to be like there's a massive gap in time there.
It's a great topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, low iron. I mean, my wife and both my kids, especially when you're pregnant, Jen was the same, and that's why years and years ago, when she was going through that process, and obviously having an underpinning knowledge of how that works, but also speaking with our obstetrician, he was like, if you're in a position that you can afford and you got really good private health insurance, having an infusion's always going to be better, because you think about anything that you put in your body. If it's nutrient, whatever it is, supplement related, the goal is to get it into the bloodstream as quickly as possible. So you're basically bypassing all of that and in essence, hepatic metabolism, etc. And you're just going straight into the bloodstream. And you can have someone, like I know with Harvey, he was like really erratic for about 5-6 months, behavior way different. And we knew that he had low ferritin levels. And so we're like, guarantee you it'll just be that, get his bloods done. To way on the lower end, to the point where like his teacher's like, he just seems like he's tired and he's a lot more erratic in how he's behaving. And with kids, they usually try and get you to do supplementation first off. So when we first did that, we did that for like 6 weeks. And I was like, nah, fuck this. It doesn't work and it takes too long. So we booked in with our pediatrician. He's like, yep, happy for you to have an infusion. And within the space of like, it can take up to 2 weeks, but within a week, noticeable changes. And within like 2 weeks, it's a brand new kid.
Yeah, well.
And to the point now where our kids get bloods every 6 months just to make sure they're where they need to be, and we don't muck around with trying to supplement it. Not to say that it's wrong, but it's suboptimal in terms of if you can afford. It does cost money to do it, but if you have good private health insurance and you can afford to do it, it just is so much faster and the uptake is so much quicker. And you don't realize when you see someone who is suffering from low iron, their ability to function, metabolism, it's just like they're suffering from lethargy all the time. Is that what you were describing with me?
Sure.
Yeah.
Again, hemochromatosis on the other side is the similar feeling. And I mean, you guys could give direct feedback. Does it seem like lately I've been a lot more energetic, focused,
Yeah, of course.
and my iron levels are the best they've ever been?
Yep.
And it's the other side for low iron. Maybe it's about that 2 week point is when it's like goes from curled up on the couch all day long to being back almost to a normal state. And I think one of her clients who had just started seeing her was doing the supplementation path, and I think it was an 8-week bloods to bloods, and the improvement was negligible, like almost not even there at all for 8 weeks of and that had a cost too, right? Like,
The
Yeah.
supplements.
yeah. So, you know, after an infusion, it was like within 11 days or something. It was like, oh my God, how have I not felt like this for the last
Yeah.
however many years? So, but you don't know what you don't know, right? It's like,
Some questions people might be thinking that are listening to this is, how long does the infusion last? And is there a reason why supplementation doesn't work?
Well, not that supplementation doesn't work, but the duration, everyone's different. There's lots of different individual scenarios in terms of the rate at which that they lose iron, and it's more common in females. Obviously, females have a menstrual cycle. You know, once they start to, or they reach menarche and they start to have a bleed every month, it's quite common for them. They obviously lose a lot of minerals in that process, in particularly calcium as well. So that's something that you would need to look at, but it really is just bespoke to the individual. So for Harvey, typically he'll need 1 year, and based on the information that I've received from our pediatrician, he said that 1 year, as he gets older, he should be better for it. But there are just some people that need to have that top up, and there are some that need to have it, might be 3 times a year, and it could be just a deficiency or a gene that perhaps that they don't have. I think it's different if you're not consuming any red meat, you're not eating dark green leafy veg, you're not eating fortified iron and things like that. But if you're doing all of those things, food first, and again, it's not that, oh, you're roughly on the lower range, but you don't eat any red meat, you don't eat any dark green veg. There's other ways that you can get it from a food first approach. But if you're someone you're way down and your levels are always way down, then perhaps you just lose more of it and you need to be topped up more often. So, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I think this is the example that I gave. You know, the asterisks would be lifestyle factors probably also weren't great. You know, the food that was being eaten wasn't great.
Yeah.
Sleep was shit as well. So there were so many other things that could have also been addressed. But over that 8-week period, because those probably also weren't rectified, it meant the iron wasn't also absorbed as well. So,
Yep. All right, keep moving. Favorite compound lift for upper and lower, and why? You got a favorite one for your upper? Favorite.
what about you do anterior and posterior?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, for me, does an incline Smith press count as a compound for an upper?
I was divvying up in my head. I like lat pull downs or rows, but I actually like the feeling of pressing. I feel like better pump or more accomplished. I don't know when you're pushing something away from you.
And I like that incline position, and I think for me, like a plate loaded sort of high row. It's been kind of my love lately, but that'll be the two. But yeah, certainly not like a barbell flat presser.
What about lower exercise?
Man, if I can't get enough of I've been V squat good morning twice a week.
Oh, you like
I've never been stronger in my legs as I am at the moment, and that's been the big inclusion. Plus, I'm V squatting.
Yeah.
I filmed some sets yesterday actually, just to have a look, and yeah, those two, the inclusion of the V squat for both those movements equally, I feel like are progressing me the best I've ever progressed. So anything V squat related at the moment is
awesome.
Is top of the list. Top of the list.
I think I'm similar to you. The only thing I'd probably add is I like rack pulls or like a pendulum row off a rack.
Do you remember when we went to Brisbane and watched him fucking rack pull at Worlds?
Yeah.
Fucking belted on fucking four plates aside.
Yeah.
It was
like they're probably not good from an injury perspective, because if I'm ever going to get injured, I'm normally going to get injured in a movement like that. But I just like them.
Yeah, we know. We've seen. I think you got like 7-8 extra reps out of him that night too. It's like,
I broke my belt that time.
Yeah, that's right.
My belt.
There's just something nice about pulling something heavy off the floor.
Off the floor, off a rack, or even rowing something heavy off a rack or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. It's like you kind of lock in, and then you just go for that rep, and you put it back down. You're like, cool, lock in again, go again.
Until either your belt breaks or your wrist straps.
Yeah, something happens. Yeah. How about you, Scotty?
Off for lower, it'd probably be an SLDL,
and
then or a hack squat, probably SLDL, and then for upper, any kind of shoulder press, maybe, and then for pulling, a close grip pull down with a good mag grip, or like heavy rows as well, like a single arm row if it's a nice pulley and it's nice and smooth. Yeah, I feel like it is a little bit hard to sort of pick.
What's your go-to shoulder press? Just the machine? Is there a certain grip, a certain machine you like?
Well, I mean, I mix between the Smith and then the plate loaded shoulder press, but the new tech pin loaded is awesome because you can adjust the handles on where
Is
you
there
want.
anywhere someone
have
would
it.
be able to see this piece in the near future?
Yes, it's a new spot that's going to have it. Any of the new tech and even some of the Panada pieces now, the new Panada range is pretty cool as well.
What about the converging stuff?
Yeah, the converging again, a lot of the new tech pieces, all their pin loaded stuff on their on-heme range is all
Oh,
converging.
awesome.
Yeah, a really good the thing with a converging chest press for me, you need to be able to adjust, especially someone that has longer limbs.
Yes.
I can't stand if you have to put blocks in to be able to get the range. So the fact that you can potentially move further or forward, ideally start further back, and then it has the press release so that you can give yourself some assistance to actually get into the machine and then create mechanical tension from the get-go.
Yeah. Kind of gets rid of the issue with your heaviest dumbbell press, just fixes that instantaneously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only really
Like that.
seen converging stuff on techno gym stuff. I don't know if I've seen it on any other machines.
Converging chest press.
Yeah.
No, shoulder press, you mean?
Or, yeah, chest or shoulder.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What other brands have them that are popular in gyms? Because techno gym you can find in some gyms.
Yeah, the Techno one I don't love just because I don't like their handles because it's got the finger grip on it.
Oh,
and
that's
for
right,
me,
it does too. Yeah.
If you've got bigger hands, you sort of one of my fingers goes over like two of the
Yeah.
spaces. Uh,
But like hammer strength don't make it converging.
I don't.
Do Life Fitness would make one?
No. Is it no? Maybe it's not. Hammer strengths don't have a converging. Life Fitness do because I've used that in the
Okay.
UK. I know that I'm pretty sure Panada do in their new range. I know that New Tech definitely does.
Okay.
And there's one other one that has a converging chest press.
They're not very popular in gyms. Like you don't see them a lot.
Nah, I'm trying to think of which. So I've used one recently. I remember thinking, oh, it was okay, but they're not as popular. Well, I know again the one that I'm gonna have in my new spot is incredible. It's super smooth, it converges, and actually all of the plate loaded incline flat benches, everything, it has a slight conversion as well. So you can
Okay,
get
yeah.
that at the top. So in
Yeah.
terms of getting a pump, doesn't matter what you're on.
Yeah, awesome. Because I know hammer strength, their plate loaded machines kind of naturally converge.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you press, they kind
Yeah.
of naturally converge. But then you've got the ones that are pin loaded, which are meant to converge.
I know,
Like you
I know
can,
when you're talking about the Techno Gym one. Yeah, that they do.
Yeah, it's
not
got the handle
amazing.
that you can grab like that or
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Life Fitness have a similar piece to that. But again, I remember using that in the UK. You can adjust the pins to sit it further or back, but it still doesn't have a foot release. And so
release, yeah.
taller, it's
You
just
can't.
harder.
Yeah, you can't.
Like
start
limited to
moving
be
it.
able to stack. You almost need someone to help
you push it off. Yeah. What's one thing athletes think matter in prep but actually doesn't? Is there anything that I think straight away is, the timing of the supplementation, which has been a bit of a trend that we've been talking about over the recent episodes, where they think, I need to time my creatine, I need to time my beta alanine or whatever, when those things don't really matter. I don't know if it's prep specific or not, but sometimes people lock in a little bit more in a prep.
Yeah, and also like probably prioritize that above something like sleep.
Yeah.
Which does matter.
Yeah.
Versus like that, an hour this way or half an hour that way, morning or night for some, versus like if you just put that hour to bed.
Yeah. Is there anything you can think of that people do in prep that really doesn't matter, that they don't need to spend their energy on?
Is that social media?
Well, yeah, comparisons.
It's probably certain behaviors, yeah. But in terms of, you think about the low-hanging fruit that most people would do. It's steps, it's training. Sleep probably doesn't come to the forefront for most people, but it should. I feel like so many people lean into things, supplements around getting to like falling asleep or better sleep versus don't pay attention. It's very easy for people in the dieting condition to become very excessive habitual caffeine consumers to just lean into that because that's something that you can have. You look forward to it. Maybe you have 2 monsters a day and you have pre-workout as opposed to paying attention to what, like the timing between when you have your last meal, making sure that you're doing a brain dump before you go to bed, calming yourself prior to sleep. I think that they're some of the real basic fundamentals of improving sleep quality just often get overlooked versus I want to take this because it's marketed and it will help me sleep, when in reality does it, or is it just that placebo effect? Again, I've never taken any of those remedies because I don't really think it matters, but also with sleep, when you get lean enough, it doesn't really matter to an extent what you do and how you do it. You're going to get to a period where maybe 6.5 hours. Best case 7 is what you're going to get, because it's purely a food seeking thing.
Yeah.
Your body wakes you
Wakes you up. Yeah.
because it's like your stomach's growling. I'm talking about when you're really, really lean. You're physically exhausted. You may rest, you might nap during the day, but you might only get 5.5 or 6 hours at night, because you just wake up because you just want to eat, even when you are eating more food, because your body's just seeking more energy.
Yeah. One thing that you said, which is not related to this, but I want to pinpoint, is like a brain dump before you go to bed.
Mhm.
You know, that's something that I've been utilizing probably the last couple of months. A little bit more so, being a little bit more particular with it, is got something on my mind, write it down. But also too is my phone goes on do not disturb at least an hour or two before I go to bed, and I make sure that I've cleared everything
Mhm.
so that I've cleared it. Now I'm on do not disturb, so if anything comes through, I'm not going to see it anyways,
Mhm.
and it's almost like that's it. I'm done for the night, and now it's just all about wind down.
Mhm.
Something that's worked really, really well for me.
I think a lot of people, it's very easy to want to, and I make a lot of my notes in my iPad, my phone as well, but knowing what you need to do the next day, if you've got that in your head, sometimes even just, I'm old school with pen and paper. I'm big on journaling and writing some of those things down. It could be reflections of the day, because say there's an event that's happened and it's left you feeling a little bit distressed or worried or a little bit anxious about, you will always feel better having written that down. How did I respond to it? What could I have done better? Going through that thought process and actually writing that out and then putting that down and then leaving that, versus if you don't, or you don't have the ability to converse with someone, converse with someone before you go to bed, and that just sits in your head and you linger on it, your brain is still trying to identify what happened, how did it go, what should I have done? And so you're reliving that highlight reel, and instead of trying to tell yourself that you're trying to power down, you're almost like leaning into that sympathetic state, where, as opposed to, you should be trying to just literally wire down the system and then get ready. And there is something really at ease about knowing that all your work is done. Whatever comes through between now and then, if I look at it, even, if you've got a stressful situation that's going on, and then you might look at your phone to see if your alarm, or there's 4 emails, having the discipline to be like, that email doesn't exist until tomorrow at 6 a.m. and I'll look at it then, because if you do, you could have just undone the last 2 hours of all
you
the
winding down.
preparation. Yeah. And that used to happen to me all the time.
Yeah.
Versus now, relentless with it, where it's like, nah, doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, that was
Anything on that?
Yeah, that was my basis of my whole presentation.
Yeah.
Bali.
Yeah.
It was around periodizing your day, so that you actually have periods where, you're going to have some really high demanding things to do, high stress, high output, high energy, periods with a little bit less intense tasks. And then you've got, a block at night, which for me, basically starts the second I put the padlock on at the gym, which is complete downshift in my nervous system. So like no tasks that are going to spike it in any way are allowed to be done. And if it comes up, it's just got to wait till that next morning block, which is exactly what Scotty's talking about.
Yeah.
And too bad. It's like it's a high stress activity. It's going in the high stress block. For me, no phone at all, because the temptation to look.
Yes.
So I've really been practicing what I preach, since Bali, but also before that as well. It's been an absolute game changer. So the only things I'm allowed to do in that period, which is, from leaving the gym until going to bed, is like, it has to be something that is like a down regulation activity.
Yeah. Okay.
So hence why I don't watch high intensity TV shows before bed. That's when I journal.
So you don't watch Night Agent?
That's never. I'll never even watch a Night Agent episode still. But because that'll hype me up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can go outside and water the garden. I can do some breath work. I can write some stuff down.
Yeah.
I can have a shower. I can shave my head. I can do all that stuff, but I can't do any activity that is going to raise my excitement levels.
Yeah.
Because that starts the next day.
Yeah. Okay.
I think a lot of people, we're in an era where everyone's like, you see all the time, win the day, how you start the day is the most important thing. I don't necessarily agree with that, because for me, I think the night before is where it really starts in terms of that preparation. What is going on in your next day? You might have the things that you have decided are going to go to. I have a file in my notes thing, and it's phrased what matters today, and so they're the key things that before any other work stuff would go. If it's usually gratitude, it'll be then 2 other things that involve personal things, with family, etc., and then you'll start on that task. But knowing what they are and setting those out the night before, prioritizing getting those 7.5 to 8 hours sleep, and being really, really disciplined around that and protecting that sleep, that ultimately is what is going to set your day up from the get-go. So for me, the day actually starts the night before. And then when you wake, another rule that I have is that under no circumstances are you to go anywhere near. Everyone knows I'm not a fan of social media, but the first thing that most people do when they wake up, they look at their phone. I'm going to go on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so when you think about, you've literally just woken up, your brain is about as sensitized as it's going to be for the whole day. And the first thing that you're going to do is look at things that, for most people, you're comparing yourself against someone else. That person's already trained. They've already had their breakfast. They've meal prepped. You're comparing how great they are versus where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so already you're behind the eight ball versus if you were to wake up, practice gratitude, you don't even look at your phone. You have a shower, you might journal, what am I going to do today? What are my list of things? I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to do my supplements, then I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to have my coffee, and I'm going to map out what my day is going to look like today. Having done all those things, productivity, if you live on your own, you've made your bed, you've done all those things, you've already got structure and order. There's an element of confidence within that first hour. And ideally, even if it's learning something different, whether it's you at uni and you're learning a different topic, you're so sensitive to acquiring new information first thing in the morning. Could be reading 1 or 2 pages of something, writing some notes. You might be trying to improve your vocabulary and you want to learn 2 or 3 new words a day, whatever it is, doing that within that first period. And then what you'll find is you don't even actually then think about your social media. And so you might get to like 11 o'clock, I'm going to have something to eat, and then maybe you'll have a look at it. It's like, it doesn't really interest me. I'm not going to doom scroll. And so you spend less time on it. Different if you're focusing on making content. But I think if you can try and apply some of those things to your nightly routine, which then carries forward to the next day, the difference that you will see from a productivity, but also your ability to elevate with everything else that you do, it's quite substantial.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be so much happier.
Yeah, I agree.
Because as you said, like you program that in early versus going down the other path of the doom scrolling. Which way do you think your day's going to go? It's like that thing, you wake up in the mirror and you look at yourself and you tell yourself you're not going to be great, probably not going to be great. Yeah. So it's like, go the opposite way.
Yeah. Let's end on this one. Biggest mistake in prep from a nutrition perspective. Is there anything that people are doing?
I think like just thinking you can eyeball things and that the little things don't add up. Drinks, sugar-free drinks, chewing gum, sauces, olive oil, cooking, like little things like that. Like it might not sound like a lot in the instance. Over the day, it might be 60, 80 calories, but then times it by a week, it's 500, times it by 20 weeks of prep. I think that's probably the biggest thing is just thinking that, man, I'm progressing still, everything's got, how much better could you be if everything was dialed into the Michael Trimboli getting the capsicum out of the Frigidator clock, one capsicum piece at a time on the scale. Like, it matters, right?
I was weighing my eggs.
I know.
I wasn't trusting what the label was saying. I was weighing them.
It's like, if you ever, Scotty, put a banana in my meal plan and then looked at the macros, and if I got a banana that was a little bit smaller than what, it was like a banana and a bit. Like, you take that the extra bite off the next one.
I when I read that question, I thought the same thing. It's about tracking accuracy, not eyeballing things, making sure you're measuring in mils and grams, not cups and those kind of things. But then all the other things you mentioned about all the sugar-free stuff, that there's like 1 or 2 calories or whatever it is, but if you have a lot of it during a day, it can kind of add up within a day, within the week. But also, my mind went to like things like protein bars and stuff as well. All
sugar alcohols, which people think are no calories, but they trick you with the advertising.
Yeah, the fibers.
0 carbs.
Yeah, but then it has 20 grams of fiber, which has calories in it.
Or it's got the sugar alcohols, which
and people are like, my macros aren't adding up on my fitness pal. It's like my calories are over, my macros are correct. Well, it's your protein bar. Like that's what's going on there. So, anything to add to those, Scotty? Or
I think most, maybe not most, a lot of athletes try and over volumize their food as a means of trying to curb hunger. To an extent, you want to use fiber and vegetable and plant matter to an extent, but for me, it's not so much just trying to make the meals bigger, but rather trying to ensure that you're getting all of the nutrients that you need. Athletes are so focused on their energy profile rather than also looking at the nutrient profile. And if you are excessively deficient in something and you're just focusing on, you only get your fats from Biscoff or from peanut butter and you don't have any seeds or avocado and things. Like I eat different I eat a granola for the most part of my prep. One that I don't particularly love the taste of it because it has a really diverse range of different types of seeds and nuts and fats, etc. Because I know if you're in a suboptimal environment, you need to be getting those things. So I think that is one of them. And the other one, which we've touched on heaps, is people just completely dismissing the importance of sleep.
Mhm.
You'll try and do everything else perfect. You'll weigh stuff to the gram, but you'll accept that you are happy to stay up and watch Netflix or go out for coffee at whatever time and fuck around with your sleep. And then you wonder why your training's no good. And then you wonder why you don't want to train. Your numbers regress. You atrophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Leave it there. Good episode.
Great.
Good to be back.
Looking forward to the next one already.
Bring it on. Thanks, guys.